How is it going? How's it going? Welcome back to another stream. Welcome back. It's a Friday. It's a Friday evening. And how is everybody's Friday evening going? Love to hear that. Would love to pop out the chat. Close my browser. Okay. How's everybody's Friday going? Okay. Everything is set. Everything is set. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome back on the stream. Yesterday we kind of we did a tedious stream because we spoke about the project that we were working on, and we didn't make much progress. And yeah, so today we are going to start with first trying to figure out how to parse this markup and generate a JSON or some sort of thing. We're going to spend a little bit of time on that, and if that doesn't work, we're simply going to most likely do things manually. So I made some changes to the README file. So here's what I have done. So as you can see, I have stripped off any of the things which are not required. I've stripped them off, and I have just kept these things, right? And one thing I think is with API, so you place this and load. I think that is okay. Okay, so we have this sort of thing in here, and what we really want to do is we want to what we want to do is here also that makes sense as of now, and that makes sense. So what we have to do is we have to strip off everything, because what we can see is whatever is the header is category, and then the table itself is the data that we are looking for, right? Data that we're looking for. So we want to create a JSON. We want to create a PR. So how do we even start doing this? I feel we have to first parse sections. So if you have a section, okay. So I want to, kind of try and learn how to parse things. I have never done that, so I want to try some naive way where we're gonna parse this entire thing in Python. idea is that let's consider this as to be a section. The header has to be a section, and whenever we do what is that called? If the starting of the line, we can just go line by line, I would say. So if in the starting of the line we find something which is starting with this thing is starting of the section. So we take in the name of the section, right? And as you can see, for every one of them, there is a space right after that, and everything, the entirety of the line is our section name or category, right? So let's try to do that first, right? So I guess we don't need all this fetch and I cache. So let's do this with open readme.mp as empty, and in here I have to say empty.readlines or line in this thing, print line, and I'm just gonna print. Okay, so Python name reads, wait a second, why did just print that? I think it's read lines. Sorry, lines. So we're trying to read each and every line. Right. So if we try to do Python name, this thing comes up. Well, this thing comes up. One thing here is that we want to ignore anything which starts with this, I suppose. So our parsing should be very straightforward, where let's first try to identify all the categories which are there, right? So in here, I believe what we can do is categories. It's not even a list of strings. It's nothing but a list of strings, right? And I'm sorry for the background noise a little bit. Today I hope the audio is fine. I hope the audio is fine. So if line, I think it says starts with, I hope there's a function like this. So it starts with this. Okay. What we are going to do is we're just going to print the line from this one called starts with. Okay. Start with. Okay. So I apparently yes, this. Okay. So I suppose these are all the sections that we have. These are all the sections that we have. And since we're already aware of this, what I can do in here is I can say take whatever is before and then also strip it off anything. And there we go. We have the thing. And in here, I suppose this is better with the dictionary, and we are just going to say none for now. I hope that works. Well, this is not going to work. So trying to say this. And here, what all things you can say? You can simply say categories. Category is this. Categories of category is not print categories, and there we have it. So now we do not see a screen but your face only. Oh, I'm really sorry. I completely forgot to go live. I completely forgot to go live. I'm really sorry about that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, my voice is breaking. I don't know why. Is it for everybody else or is it just for you? But you should be able to see my screen right now. So let me quickly go through what I am doing. So yesterday, since we were looking at the entire README file, there were a lot of things. So I just stripped up everything. I just kept, uh, the categories itself because that's all we need. So this is what I have, and this is what I'm gonna work with. The reason behind that is the header is just gonna be a category, and then I have to figure out a way to parse this thing. So my parsing is gonna be simpler, and this is what I'm gonna work with, right? And it's a very simple Python code. I'm saying it's a dictionary, and currently I'm saying values are none. I'm saying maybe I could reduce the music a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So and what happens here is that, so here you say with open this thing, so I open it up and I say you read lines, and I actually when the line starts with this thing, then it's a category, so I consider it to be a category, and then I just do it in this way. I put it in the dictionary. So now we need something. What do we need? What do we need? It's a good question. What do we need? Well, let's actually open this up in Github. So here is what I need. I have to say that, oh, also is not having it. Okay, no, it's not. So I have to split the first two lines of first because I know for a fact that the first two lines are going to be the headers, and you know the separators of the headers. Do I have any formatter? I do have, but I don't know if they should be formatted. Yeah. So that is one thing that we have. What I do want to do in here is I hope my voice is not choppy anymore and it's not dated. I hope so. Let me just see on my phone. Oh my god, my voice is really breaking. I'm sorry for that. Just give me a second. Is my voice choppy now? Is my voice choppy now? No, I don't think so. My voice is choppy now, right? Okay, cool. Okay. So what we have to do in here is that once we get a section header, where is this thing? Where's my code? I do wanna, you know, extract this information somewhere, right? So, class description, you have a, what all things do you have? So you have an API, which is a string, then you have a description which is a string, then you have auth which is a string, and then you have HTTPS which is a string, and then you also have course which is a string. And this can be a data class from data class import data class. Does this work? I think it should work. There are no module name data classes. Okay, data classes. I also might wanna from the print import the print, and wherever we are printing stuff, we want to go like this. Okay, so this looks good. This looks good. So in here, I'm gonna say description. Description is most likely not a good thing. So what is it? Exactly is it? Is it metadata? It's not metadata. I'm just gonna call it description for now. Okay, so in here it's a description, and also I think what we can do here is that we can say default dictionary, and we have to from collections import for. Okay. Does that work? It works. Okay. Okay. Now I suppose the main thing happens. All right. Right. So I'm just gonna say category is map, which is nothing but a string or map, right? So why is it just one? Oh, I know why it's one. Also, this here is gonna be a list of this thing in here, and categories of query. Yeah. Okay. Else, if line that starts with dot add, right, or append line. Isn't that why you use default tick? Guess not. If category not in categories categories of category should be equal to this, then you do that. Okay, cool. So you have all those bunch of things in here, but we also need to parse So class, we can call it a static method. Static method define parse from line, and you get a line with a string, and you're supposed to return a description, right? Right. Line dot split. So let's split with this, and let's print and see what we get. So let's not print this. We also have to call the method, of course. Okay. Description dot parse from line. Line. Okay. 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 So we have all those things. That's okay. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How are you? Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How was your New Year? How was your New Year? Okay. So we have to somehow work with this. Work with this. So one of the things we have to do here is that we have to ignore this line, we have to ignore this line, right? And we have to take this particular line in here. Okay. We can simply ignore the lines which are, starting with this or starting with this. So we can simply say I don't quite like it, but we can say like this. So if line starts with API or line starts with this thing, I'm gonna just return. Okay, and in here, let's say we get a description back. If description is not none, then I'm gonna say append the description. I'm good. Just finished 7th semester final exam. Oh, awesome. I hope you had a. Hello, sir. Big fan. Akash Gupta. I think I know who you are. So cut the crap, dude. Cat Q. Why? Okay. I think I know who you are, right? You're the same. I know you, right? I think I know you. Feels like it. I don't know. Yeah. What are the prerequisites to build this? Nothing. Just the requirement is build some shit and spend the evening. That's all. I don't know if you attended yesterday's stream. So we are building a. We have already built a. We have already done this exercise 5 years back, as you can see here, and yeah, like I mentioned, so this was a question from Postman, I believe, to build an API, to build a crawler and things like that for interview purposes, right? So they have a GitHub repository where sorry, where you would have a bunch of you can look at the GitHub repository in here. So if you look at the README, yeah, so yeah, not that guy. Why does it not work? Why is GitHub so shit? Why I'm writing GitHub index? Yeah. So these are all the categories that you have. Well, this is in a text format, in a README format, but an API is gonna return you back with all of this, and each individual categories will have certain metadata and APIs about this. So there's an API description, authentication, things like that. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to call an API, which will give you back all the categories, and then you would go through all the categories and fetch this information against all the categories, and then you would right, and then you would store it in your database. The caveat is that each of the API is behind a token, behind an authentication, so you just have to pass a token. So there's an URL which would provide you a token which is good for a short-lived token, which is good for 5 minutes. So you have to refresh every token 5 minutes, and the amount of calls that you can make to any of the server is 10 per second. So there is a rate limiting sort of thing behind the scene. So this is what the entire exercise is, and I did it. I took it up as a exercise to do it by myself, and I did that. The problem here is that so I can just the problem here is that so I thought of revisiting this entire application and try to build it from scratch again, and the rate limiter that I was using is I forgot what is the name of it, but I was using some kind of a rate limiter. Okay, a library, my bad. And right now what I want to do is I want to build the rate limiting client by myself, just learn how to design that and how that works. That is what I am trying to do right now. As you can see here, a playground, so script to test things. So yeah, so I have an API which is I hosted some API, and then I tried to limits and all this. These things are coming from rate limiter. So rate limit is a library name. But I'm trying to not use any external library and do it by myself, and also try and remove the dependency of request, which is trying to send a request. I'll try to do it purely from standard library. It's just an exercise and challenge to see if I can do that, and it's going to be fun. So that is what it is. But since we started working on it, we saw that the APIs which are running to send the data back is down. It doesn't exist anymore. So now what I'm trying to do is, first, since we have the data in the text format, we're going to extract out the data, and we're going to push it into a server, to push it into a database. We're going to run a server, which is, will have the exact same behavior as the service they were running, a Postman or whoever was running those APIs. And then I'm going to come back to the API, to this part. So from the part where I just wanted to rewrite the scroller, now I have to do the entire thing. But it's kind of fun. What are we doing right now? We are just parsing the markdown file to generate a JSON so that I can dump it into a database. This is what I'm doing currently. Technically I am parsing, but I am not parsing the entire file. I have stripped it down to the only sections which I need, and this is what I'm doing. Okay, yeah. So where were we? So this is where we were, and one thing I want to do in here is I want to break out early. I want to short circuit. So I is 0, and well, this is the indentation. One of the problems with Python, I feel, is that it's once you go a little bit deep into the indentation, it fucks up your mind at where the heck you are. And if I is, let's say, 10, I'm just gonna break Python main by, well, of course. Is the Python interpreter trying to be like the Rust compiler? It's actually giving. I never realized that it does that. It actually tells you what you meant to do. This is not a valid thing. Okay, but if it's not a valid thing, can I just say it's an optional, and but I also have to import it somewhere, right? From, I think, for optional. We did that. We did that. Okay, cool. That makes sense. We are still doing a bogus parser. Maybe it's a complete separate stream. I have never written a parser. I've never written a compiler. I've never even written a Lexer. So I have plans of learning how to do that and not generating using Yak or something like that. But I first thought maybe I'll do that, but it would be going down a rabbit hole and completely digressing from the topic that I try to do, right? So I'm just going to create a something which works, which is just basically looking at the data and somehow making it work. Okay, I'm going to do that. One thing I want to say is, what if I split with a space? What do you do then? You still give me back this kind of a shit in here. Okay, but I want to how the fuck do I do that? Let's look at the line. How is the line? So you first have a space in here. Well, again, I can be very what is it called? Optimistic, if I'm not wrong. I can be more optimistic and say that I exactly know how the data format is going to be. So why not just write my parser? Because this is not the main part of the project, right? This is not the main part of the project. Okay. So in here, I'm going to say, let's just split with that. What happens if I split with that? So let's copy paste this thing. So let's look at it very closely. So for every single one of them, the first slot is going to be, the index one slot is going to be API. Then the second slot is going to be description. Third slot is going to be, what is the slot? Auth. Then it's going to be HTTPS. Then it's going to be course 4, 5. That's pretty much it, right? That is pretty much it. Also, there's some sort of this thing in here. Maybe the reason behind that is here. So now it gets stripped off. Cool. So what we can do, I really wish my tmux was running, but it somehow tmux doesn't work when my OBS runs. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I really don't know, and I don't even know where to start debugging that. We'll see. Okay, so I remember you can do destructuring in Python. Can you not? Can I do something like ignore this guy? This is API, this is description, this is auth, this is HTTPS, this is course, and then there's something else which I don't care about. Can I do something like that? No, apparently not. Anybody remembers how to do a destructuring in Python? Can we even do that? Python destructure. Aha. Aha. I don't have to give the brackets. I just so okay. So it's the same thing how you do a tuple. But this is not gonna work because I suppose this bugger is gonna say, hey, this is a variable. I'm guessing so. Too many values to unpack. Expected 7. Why is it 7? Ah, okay. Why is 7? First one is bogus, last one is bogus. Other than that, you have 5. So, if I just say A, B, C, D, and then this thing, and then this thing. Oh, fuck, that works. So why didn't it not work in here? I did something stupid. API description 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm missing something. Where's the line? This is the line. Now can I do that? I understand. Okay, we can do something else. Line is not this. Line is this. Dot join. How about that? You're happy? I feel you should be happy now. So what about this now? That works. Something is wrong, right? If I just say API, it's the correct one. If I just say HTTPS, it's the correct one. If I say auth, it has to be API. Wait a second. And why is it not working in my code? Why is it not working here? But it works in the REPL. Too many values to. I think I get it. I think this is like ignore 1. I'm just gonna say ignore 2. Will you be happy? No, it's still not happy. Somewhere it comes up as 8. That's the problem. Okay. Where do you come up as 8? Aha. It's kind of sus, man. It's kind of sus. So this is what we're going to do. Well, I don't want to... Like, let's say we are doing some data analysis and this thing comes up, right? I cannot fix the entire data right away. So what we would do is... right here, right? Whatever we did in here. This is what we are exactly going to do. API should be, well, line dot split. So let's just call this L. So L of, well, you know what, we can copy paste some stuff. Wait. How about that? Well, this is wrong. So you gotta fix that. So yeah, how about that? So the only thing is I don't have Vim configured for multi-cursor for anything else. I just have raw Vim. Okay, that works. Okay. So the question is, I forgot how do you initiate the data classes? This thing, how do you initiate? I don't quite remember, but we can try to do that. So data description. Well, why not doing it directly here? Let's do it so I can simply read description course auth. We also need to strip and secret. So strip. I'm gonna strip a new line. Sorry, I'm gonna strip any space. Strip any this thing which I know is there, or strip any new line. How about that, chat? Does that look like a professional alignment thing? Of course, the API is not the correct one, so we have to parse that. I'm planning to use regex for that. So we also have to see how to use regex in Python, but that's fine. So then in here you have course, and I guess in here we can simply say return. About that. The only question here is this a true data class just like any other object-oriented programming, and does it override wrapper or toString methods, right? That's a question. What I'm gonna do here is that I'm just gonna say of animals. Strip is not defined. Okay. How is strip is not defined? You have to say okay, so it does what it's supposed to do, but here is a little bit problem. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? It didn't strip off anything. हाँ उधर ही है, अंदर है, अंदर है उधर ऊपर जो है ना, वो खोलो, दो चीजें लगा हुआ था वो उधर ही है. Okay. What the fuck is this thing, man? What the fuck is this? Invalid escape sequence. What you're talking about? Do I have to just give the raw thing? I suppose S, well, escape it please, thank you, and then just give a space, give this, and you do that globally. Do you work now? Aha, so if I just give a backslash S, it doesn't fucking know what it's talking about. Why is that? I don't know. But anyways, we have to look at this. Right? So let's do this thing. So this is one of them. This is the second part. Let's take another one. So we're gonna do a little bit of reject stuff. Let's see. Okay. uh, regex 101. Okay, so you have you start with this, you end with this. Well, where is the starting caret? Yeah, so you do that, and then you have A to Z, uh, A to Z. You can also have 0 to 9. You can also have a space. You can also have a dash, I think. You can also have a dash, and it didn't quite go through that. Well, because I have to wrap it now in this. It didn't match, by the way. It didn't match. So I'm escaping this thing. How about this? Okay, so you match this. A to Z. Sorry. So let's say it can be anything. It can be anything. And then you have this. So you match the lid here. Then you have an opening bracket, which you also have to escape. Then you have a closing bracket. Well, you cannot immediately have a closing bracket, but then let's say that you have this guy, right? Okay, so you matched till the end. You're also taking up this, but okay, whatever. And what I'm going to say here is, I'm going to say then you need to end with this thing, and that has to be the end of it. So this is where you match. But if you have something bogus, it doesn't match. Pretty cool. But we have to now, I think, capture this. So we captured the group, which is group 1. So we capture this. So look at that. We figured out what is the regular expression that we need. Okay, so let's see if we can if we can figure out how to do regex stuff, right? I remember there was a Python re thing. So let's just say pattern is this, but you need some escaping. So this is a raw string right now. Sorry. So let's import and help. Okay. Given the methods minor pointer. So you have a pattern. Do I have to define the pattern in that way? Can it just not match with a string? Group dictionary containing all the new subgroups in a match, keyed by the subgroup name. Why do I have to give a subgroup name? Can I just return a tuple containing all from match from 1? Okay. How do you do Python regex stuff, man? Let's see. There's a match. There's a search sub. I just want to do a match. So from we import match. Okay, we can do that. So help match. What all do you have? You need a pattern. Try to apply the pattern at the start of the string, returning a match object or none if no match found. Okay. So our line is this. Line is what do you? Oh, sorry. Our line is this, and you are just gonna say pattern line and flag. I suppose there was a default value getting passed, so we don't need to do that. So you have this. So can I just print F? You get back something. We got back something, and it is not. It's not a none, which means it matched, right? But if I match with here, It's none, right? Because it doesn't return anything. It's none. Okay, cool. That works. So the regex is working fine. But how do we even see what to do with the same thing, right? Group. Okay. So what is this group thing? It's a method. It's a method. Return subgroups. Okay. So m group group group. It's a built-in method. Ah, वो तो ठीक है. Let me call it. So whatever, I don't know what you brought back as part of this. It's a string. But I'm trying to capture the first group. So in here, my regex is correct, but it didn't capture the first. Not sure why. Not sure why. Okay. Groups, can I say? Holy shit. And 1. Sorry, 0. Fuck yeah. So what do we have to do in here? Bin. So we can simply say parse API. So it's a line, and it also should return this. Parse API. And do I have to give it because it's within the class? I don't quite know. Well, I know you have to give self, but in here, I'm gonna say it's a static method. So return this. Yeah, I have to. Why can't you resolve your things within? Why do I have to do that? Okay. Description dot. Now, now you should be able to do whatever you're trying to do. Okay. So the big thing here is that what do I want to do? What do I want to do? So I mean, it doesn't have to be efficient and performant or memory efficient, things like that. So we can just say pattern in here, and the pattern is nothing but this. Well, I don't want to escape anything, so it's a raw string, and then match line, but you have to give it pattern first, and m equals this. If m is not none, what can you say? I can say if m is not none, I can simply say that great approach. Sorry, I missed your chat. I don't know for what you're talking about, great approach. You mean the regex pattern or something? So m is not none. What did we do? M dot groups, and you're straight up just gonna do that and do that. And in here, with exit 1, print something is wrong. Of course, so here we have to say from the import match. Yeah. We did the parsing, guys. We did the parsing. And well, where is my So one thing I want to do is this, and what if I say it's weather? Ah, we hit that. We hit that. Okay. And there's one interesting thing. Oh my God, it's one interesting thing. I mean, it's a scripting language. I shouldn't be cribbing about it. But the interesting thing here is that can anyone, if anyone is watching me right now, can you see? Can you just tell me what is really stupid about this and what is uh, like whatever just happened right now crashed, and it says you forgot to import OS. What is the problem in this? Anyone in the chat who understands that why is this a problem? Okay. I'm going to take a quick 2 to 3 minutes break or 5 minutes break. We'll take a quick break and I'll fill up some water. I didn't have water for an hour. But yeah, I'll get some water. And yeah, meanwhile, maybe someone in the chat can talk about why I feel this is a big problem, even most likely with JavaScript. Uh, even most likely with JavaScript. Why is this a problem? It never crashed before, it crashed now with some error. But what's the problem in that? Cool. We will be back. So just because I want to show the screen, I'll just keep it like this. But yeah. I'm also gonna mute the mic.
changes come, we must never stop the way, yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah. Light is gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
Okay, we are back. We are back. Yeah. We are back, and yeah. So the question was, okay. So the question was why this is a problem. This is a problem because in a scripting language, it's an interpreted language and it goes line by line. So if there is a line which doesn't, which is not correct syntactically, I wouldn't say it compiles. It doesn't. It never goes through that particular piece of code. It would never complain that that hey, there's some issue, because we can do here hello return. So this is, yeah, it never complained about that. It complained about OS. It never complained that hey, there is an issue. But now if I just call hello, this is when it's going to say hey, it's not defined, it's a bogus thing. So this is a problem with Python or any scripting language per se, because as long as I don't have an execution path to a certain piece of code, so as an example in here, and ASDs, whatever, it's a bogus thing, it never complains. It complains about something else because, like I said, so that's the problem, I think. Also, like, yeah, anyways, so the question here is, why did it even fail? Why did it even fail? Because there is no match. But why is there no match? Every line should have a match, because I have done that. If the line starts with this, so let's look at the line and see what happens. So we have to import OS. So import OS has nothing called OS exit. I think OS exit is in Go. How do you do this here? I suppose you just say like that. Okay, says something is wrong, and we can be very sure that yeah, it exited with one exit code, and it never printed the line. It never printed the line. But why is that? So in here, line is line. Yeah, it's somehow an empty line. Why is it an empty line? So right after this is coming up as an empty line. Right after this, it's coming up as an empty line. Why? So let's look at where this is. This is in here. Then you still have, oh, okay. So the markdown is somehow fucked. I just gotta save it like this. It still says it's failure. The reason behind that is this. So let's see if we have this kind of a pattern. We have many. Yeah. So let's just replace this with this. And that should be correct. Okay, cool. So now we have all of these things. Well, I wanna py. Oh, sorry, it's main.py, and here I want to do that. Okay. So is this the last one in my? We did it. We did it. We did it. Also, API key. Okay. So everything seems to be correct. So we did the parsing. We did the parsing, and we ignored the thing in here, right? We ignore the thing in here. So we can also add a certain comment in here. For easy parsing, a lot of information has been removed. Lot of sections of no interest has been removed. So the question here is it even correct? Because if I look at this, it's description, same description. Okay, this is only for weather because, okay. I remember we only did it for weather. But now, if I do that and do this thing, well, we have all of it. We have all of it. We have all of it. So for weather, there's a bunch of descriptions that you have, things like that. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So we at least got it parsed. Next thing is we want to actually dump this thing, right? So import JSON, and if I remember correctly, help JSON, we have something called dumps. JSON dumps, you also have to just give it the dictionary. So, well, what are you gonna do in here is import JSON. So in here, well, we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. So once this is done, I want to say JSON dumps data.json. Oh no, I remember what to do. But I think JSON help JSON dumps. Yeah, so you give it an object, give it skip keys, ensure ASCII. Where is a target file? Serialize object to a JSON format string. Aha, okay, so it doesn't let you write. Okay. So it just gives stringifies it, so it's mostly stringified, but that's fine. So here, well, we don't need this. We don't need this anymore. JSON dot dumps categories. Print. I did import JSON, did I not? Okay. So that makes sense that in categories, I think that description is not serializable. So how do I even make it serializable? All right. Python make class serializable. Look at that. It's the topmost question. So you have a class like this and it says yes. So what do you do? Okay, so you have to define a toJSON as a class method. And then in here, you just return JSON dumps self default lambda or dictionary. Okay, so you have to provide that sort keys indent. So you just call to serialize it. We'll input this for a fully featured. Why is it a? It's amazing that in 11 years there has not been a single response when asked this question. OP states he wants to use JSON dumps, yet all the answers, including with bounty award, involves creating a custom encoder which dodges the point of the question entirely. Okay. So, but I want to go nest. I want to nest, right? You're here because you're trying to encode a custom Python object to a JSON format. You received blah blah blah. Okay, so you can write your own custom JSON encoder to make the class. This is create toJSON method to make Python class. This is exactly what I need. Use JSON pickle. I don't need that. I remember there's a pickle object, pickle method, package module in here. Maybe we have to use it later on. I don't know, but let's see if we can just work around with this. Def to JSON. This is a self thing, and return JSON dumps. Okay, so self. signature. So skip keys. What else is there? There is a lot of things which are by default, so I don't think so we have to do anything. So we can just give self. Will that be sufficient? Will it figure out that I can call this and do what's supposed to be? No, it's not going to do that. It's not any standard object. You have to somehow make the call. I don't want to do that. I do not want to do it. How do I pass this thing and say, okay, this is for whatever you cannot, like if you, how can I do that? Python dictionary with custom class as keys as, let's say, values to JSON. Correct. I think this is what I need. I have kind of stopped using ChatGPT a little bit, and I've also stopped paying for all of the AI platforms. Just that. Aha, so it calls calls representation thing. Wait, this is a question. You have to say encoder and things like that. Give it FP. So FP is the file pointer. Class is this. But I remember even in here, it was saying class. I don't. I don't quite know how to do this. I don't want to write a custom encoder because I don't want to dump a single result. I want to dump a dictionary which has keys and values as this thing. So this is not quite what I look for. Maybe this is what I need. Okay. How do I approach this thing, man? How do I approach this thing? There's also another discussion of, okay, you can do something like this. And you have to give it this particular thing in here. let's see if this works. Okay, let's see if this works, which can go in here. Class description encoder. This is inheriting from JSON encoder. Is that the thing? JSON encoder, and you have to say def default self object. What are you doing? If instance, if is instance. So first you have to give it the object and the class. So you say obj description. If it is that, what you do, you say obj dictionary is this. And return. If not, return JSON encoder dot default default. What do you have to give it? You have to just call it like this, so that whatever, it just depend on your parent class to do what needs to handle. If this is not this, in our case, it should never come up. So here, what you're trying to do, dunder dict is basically giving you the dictionaries, and it's a key, and okay, but we don't have a string. Let's see. So that didn't, oh, my bad, because in here I have to say class is description encoder. Holy shit, that works. Data, why is it saying data JSON? Let's just, fuck yeah, holy shit, it works. Finally, I think we got it. And do I have JQ? I have JQ, and I think the way you can say this thing is echo data JQ invalid numeric for that line, 2 columns. Eh? What? Is that not how you validate? Do you say like this? No, right? This is correct. Can I just do cat? Okay, so echo was something doing stupid, but since it actually prints everything, and that's why I think, because if I just say this, and if I just say this thing, and if I say A, it's an error. So that's a validation that our data JSON is correct. Holy fuck, we actually did this thing. Look at that. We actually did this thing. It's not, it's still a huge one. It's 10,000 lines of Java JSON file. But we did it, right? We did it. So I think we should be good here. We fucking did it finally. Okay. So we have a lot of code in here. So let's put in some description is a value class representing the list of APIs and its metadata for each category. Right. description encoder is a custom JSON encoder for class description. I think your things go like this. I don't quite know. Yeah, that looks better. Cool. I think we are good in here. Right now, we need to load up in the database. Right. So let's first create the database. So in here, the way we can do that is let's close up everything. In here, we can do something like docker. Okay, do I need to sign? Let me just sign in also. Let me quickly do that. Okay, cool. So we are in the Docker Hub. And now what I want to do here is I want to search for MongoDB. Okay. So I guess we can have this. So let's just say stack YAML. And in here, we can say version. I remember the version was 3.9. I don't know if they have a new version. But yeah, so here, container name, I think is supposed to say, I'm gonna say apiary MongoDB, and in here, I'm gonna say express. Also here, I suppose we have to export because I'm not gonna right away deploy in a container. So I'm gonna have to say ports 27017, and we can bind it to 27017. So do we have anything running? We don't have anything running. Docker rm oh, this is for virtual screen where I was trying to never mind. So Docker compose file up. The compose file is invalid, contains true, which is an invalid type. It should be a string or not. Okay. I remember facing issues with this. So I remember one of the things we can do in here is we can convert it into a list, and then in here you have to say equals. Can we do some replacement magic in here where we say this is this? Oh fuck, it's gonna happen for everything. So can I just select this, and then I can say this replace with equals globally. That fucking didn't work. How do you do that? So in sorry, s this thing, and then with an equal. Okay, cool. And here I think we can say me underscore, replace it with this me underscore, and that didn't work either. Awesome. Okay, anyways, now does this work? Aha, it works. So can I access this thing localhost 80.1? No. Invalid argument. What you're talking about? Because the database is constantly okay. So why is the database trying to constantly load? Missing this thing. Okay. You're missing this. We can add that. So let's do docker compose f stack chunk. Very first thing, let's create a make file. I'm gonna call it setup docker compose hyphen stack camel up hyphen t, and then down is docker compose hyphen stack camel now. And in here, it's a 40 target. I think you say it like that. So setup and down 20, make down. Wait a second, because it's not YAML, it's YAML. Okay, make before making the setup, we have to first because it's that is what we are looking for, right? Yeah, so it's that make setup ps logs f api looks to be working fine. So okay, what is the password? Mongo Express user, Mongo Express user, Mongo. Man, this is stupid. So it down. Oh, one of the things I do want to do is in the make file, I also want to make sure that you take down the volumes if you create anything. We don't create any volumes to be safe, but that's fine. So create stack. So you have root. So password. So in here you can just say admin and password. Make setup. Let's just see that down works correctly. Yeah, so you're also okay, cool. So let's quickly make the setup, and this is gonna be admin password. That didn't fucking work. Why? Restarting. Express is restarting. Why are you restarting? Docker logs 080 authentication failed. I know why. Because we never changed this thing, right? So this has to also change. So this is root @ password. So in here you have to say like this. Uh, Setup. Fucking finally, bro. Fucking finally. Okay. Well, we can create the database and do stuff like that. But what's fun in that? So we have to create the database by Mongo. So let's quickly say inside the loader, Python. Can I type no? When source bin, what is the bin activate pip install pip. Now I also want to install PyMongo. I don't remember how to use it, but we'll see exactly how to use that. So PyMongo. Let's see the documentation. Can you show me examples, please? Okay, so you have to first create the client, then you have to say db is client.test. Okay, I get it. Then you say my collection, it shows you all the collections, and then I think you can also say collections, something like that. Okay, and then find one, just finding one of the collections. Okay, so in here what I do want to do is first there's a database, and inside that there's a collection has documents, right? If I'm not wrong. Well, I suppose what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to create each and individual collections for the categories. So I'm thinking like this way. So there can be something like, so let's look here. So there can be databases called categories, and database is called categories. Database is called, what is a good name of the database? What is a good name of the database? Just a second. So what are we supposed to call the database? I don't know. Public API data. How about that? Is that a good name? Is that a good name? We'll go with this for now. Okay, so we'll go with this for now. And then in here we have collections. So one of them can be categories. Go this, which is a list of categories, and each and individual category, so as an animals is one collection, weather is another collection, things like that. But this is a problem also in here, because one of the things we can do is for a in categories these print my bad. So yeah, so they have not only spaces, which is pretty okay to just quickly append, but you also have some sort of underscore in here. That's a thing. So we have to come up with a notion saying that if I send science and math, what is going to get converted to? We need to have some sort of a notion. Right. We need to have some sort of a notion in it. So let's first say me. Right. So what do we do in here? What was the thing? So you just import PyMongo. Okay. So import PyMongo. Mm-hmm. So let's keep the dump so it's easier for me to look at. Why did Spotify close? What happened? I'm sorry for that. Just give me a second. Spotify somehow closed and it keeps closing, which means there's some issue with it. But we can always look at music. YouTube, YouTube music. Can you give me some no copyright music? Uh, no copyright background music. Okay. Holy shit! I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. I'm really, really sorry for that. Where do I even? Have anything look fine? So let's move it here, the other screen, so it doesn't disturb us, it doesn't get in our way. Right. Cool. Okay. So now let's do that. So what we have to do in here is print. So let's print some of the things. Dumping data into data.json. We can do that. So now in here, dumping data into MongoDB. So client will be Python, PyMongo. So you have to say localhost. Well, these all should be coming from some kind of configuration. We can actually put a to-do in here. Config given. Okay, so let's look at the thing, how it was done. So this is basically a string that you're looking for. So here 27017. So you have the client, and then you just say database equals client dot public API data DB. How about that? Python make. And that didn't work because PyMongo doesn't have an attribute called client. So Mongo, okay. Makes sense because it's not a method, it's an instantiation of Mongo class. It's an instantiation of a class. We can even look at that. Prep Mongo client. Can it find out? Well, it find out too much. Like this. Okay, so we have this particular class. Line number 170. Yeah. So this is basically it. These things, okay. So these things are by default. So I don't know if we had to pass it. So, but anyways, I don't think so. It's a big problem. Okay. Okay, let's go back in here. So now what do we do? So we have the database, and did it actually create a database? That's a good question. That's a good question. So if I just refresh, I'm sorry for flashbanging. I'll quickly do this. Okay, so at least now it's this. This Mongo Express should have a dark mode. Mongo Express source code. So it has package JSON. What all things do you use? Code, blah 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 blah. Doesn't have shads yet. Doesn't have shads yet. Also, in issues, does it have something called dark? Oh, it does have. Thank you for this amazing tool. So we can give this. How about that? Let's do that. First thing first, I'm gonna remove the dark mode on this. I'm gonna flashback for another bit. Okay. Make count. Make setup. Didn't fucking do anything. Oh, okay, that makes sense because I'll answer even if this issue is dated. I'll answer even if this issue. The option only modifies the editor theme, not all the web. Have you tried to open a document to check if the editor theme has changed? Aha, so it doesn't actually. Maybe we should do it. Okay, so another question is if I do run main, let's go to the loader, Python main. Did it create the database? I think it didn't create the database because we have to go inside the database and also create a collection. Otherwise, it will not do that, right? I think that is what it is. db dot. How do you do that? How do you do that? We just give it the name. We just give it the name. So db dot categories. So this here is the collection. So we can say like this. Now for category in categories keys. So now what I can say is collection dot insert one. Can I just insert a string as a list? Can I do that? No. No, it cannot, because I suppose it has to be in some sort of a, let's say here, document must be an instance for dictionary. Okay. So there's a BSIN, it's a dictionary or something like that. Well, we can do something like this. Sorry, my bad. So let's look at this. How do we do this? So A should be equal to A is 1, B is 2. It really doesn't matter. Sorry. What is missing? This is missing. Okay. So A keys. We take all of the dictionary keys and we say that M is this thing, let's say. So M of categories is equal to A. If you look at it, it's dict keys. Let's do that and see. Let's do that and see first what happens. Wait. So collection dot insert one. Categories is nothing but categories dot keys, and we can even try to convert them to a list just in case. Python main, and command requires authentication. Okay. So I suppose what we have to do in here is username or user. So we can actually go ahead and check that. So we did some regrep right there, and this is what we are looking at, right? So it takes in arguments as quarks, but not as. Where do you take user information? Oh, it also takes this thing. Sorry, it also takes this thing. Okay. So maybe what we can do is URL is MongoDB localhost. Sorry, it's root password @localhost 27017. URI is we can simply probably say this. Yeah, that worked. Kind of truth. So we can go here. We have the database. If we go back here, we have the collections, which is categories. And then in here, you have the entire list of categories. You have the entire list of categories. What we can do here is that, because we have to do some offsetting and paging and things like that, right? We have to do that. What we can do is we can say, we're almost done. We're almost done. Because if I export it as JSON array, yeah. So categories is this. So it's basically 50 categories. But in here, we have to be a little bit careful because we have to do pagination and stuff like that. We'll figure that out in tomorrow's stream. The next thing that we have to do right now is now work with so print inserting all categories go right. So now for key value in category go reads.items, if I say in this way, okay, so okay, just give me a second. There's someone at the door. I'm gonna take a quick 5 to 10 minutes break. I'm gonna talk to my family, and then I'm gonna be back.
it that I'm down for. You wanna hit the town, make it loud, be a clown for you, or maybe we could be a Romeo and Juliet, except without the age difference, and we can forget the death. Cause this is love at first sight. There's no doubt in my mind. And darling, forget about the time, cause you're mine. And I'll spend every second chilling with you. Like this, that vintage Nickelodeon innocence love. Innocence, the type of if we fight, let's chill and make up. You're one in a million pay stubs. But to me, you're like a lottery. There's a lot of fish in the sea, but you're a catch. That's so startling, baby. I know that there's a lot to do. It's awful too. And then your past, there's a lot to chew. I'll buckle up. Like your burden's a weight to carry, but it lessens at a steady rate. And I'll be by your side like your phone pocketed on second dates. Honestly, I just want some acknowledgement for confidence and compliments, but maybe I'm not hitting the dot. But I'm still taking my shot. I'ma practice and go again, and you can show me around, and you can even will your friends. Like I know that they'll be talking with their dissonant whispers, but shiver me timbers if they can rock the relationship. Do you know who you playing with? I'm feeling like Midas, but you was gold to begin with. I didn't help in the slightest day.
My day needed. Of course he's gonna hang around for more. It's sort of like a drug. It's addicting.
And ooh, girl, I'm addicted to you. You're my dopamine and joy. Make me forget and then act coy. Oh, ooh, girl, let me know what to do when I'm just thinking of you. You're the one I'm addicted to.
Okay, we back, we back. Uh, so we're gonna quickly end the stream. But let's see. So how do we do this? Um, so, uh, first thing first, I'm gonna say e.replace if any if you have a space, does it work like that? By the way, ap.replace, and you replace it with this. Okay, and so replace, if you have an and, you replace it with nothing. So here is and you replace it with two things because now there are two spaces. Okay. So my friend, how do we do that? Well, we can do like this. We can say and this thing you replaced with this, and even after that have a space. You replace it with this. Yeah, and if you just have a single space, replace it with this. But I think it's called lower. So in case A, B, C, D, E, F, you do it like this, and C, E, G, F. Okay, cool. So this is how we're gonna do it. So we're first gonna replace space and space with this. If anything left, we're gonna replace this with this to lower. Sorry, it's just lower. It's just lower, and this is gonna be the collection name. Now the values are a list of these things, and what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna say the db dot collection dot insert many insert one. I'm simply gonna say in here data. We have to give it JSON. So this is the data. This is the value. Okay. Cannot encode it. Uh-huh. So import by Mongo dot Mongo client. Sorry, Mongo client. And I can just do a help on this. And here is insert. So there's something called collection. What is it? PyMongo collection. PyMongo collection dot insert. Okay. Can I give it any kind of this thing in here? No, I cannot. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I think I want to drop off now. The reason behind that is I need to call my family. Till now, what we have done is like we have at least achieved in parsing the data and creating a category collection, category document, category collection in which there is a single document. There's a single document with all the categories in here. That's one thing, which is good. The next thing that I'm going to do here is there's going to be multiple collections with the name of the this thing, and what we're going to do in here is we have to somehow encode uh, the description into a JSON. I believe we already did wrapper. I didn't do wrapper. I created a thing in here. I just went with that. Okay. Anyways, but the time has come. We have enough information and enough data for uh, कर रहा हूँ हाँ करो शुरू करो we have something for Python. Ignore AO. So we have Python, we have PyCharm. I don't think so we use anything else. Mongo, Docker, Pose. I don't think so anything else is required. So let's just say git ignore. We have to initialize this. So yeah. One thing we can do here is copy git ignore inside loader and also inside server git sp new. This kind of becomes much more easier instead of going through the entire thing. Git add all initial commit git remote add git add GitHub real day git query. Okay, so we also need GitHub apiary. Let's create this guy. Git push origin edge. How about that? How about that? So a GitHub API crawler. But it has Python. It has Mongo. It also has Crawler. What else can we give as a tag? For now, I suppose it's good. Okay, cool. So this is a repository that we have now. I mean, it's just unfinished, but still. So tomorrow, the first thing that we're going to work on is trying to first load up the data. That should take half an hour more maximum, maybe less than that, hopefully less than that. And then we're going to start working on the fast API side, which is the server side. And in the server, what we're going to do is we're going to try and mock these three APIs. So holy shit. So do we have a source? No. Do we have a crawler? Yeah. So we're going to try to mock these three APIs where one is for getting the token, one is for getting all categories, one is for getting data for the categories. And as I mentioned in the start of the stream, this API is not live anymore because they are hosted on Heroku. So Heroku deleted all the apps. There was some sold off or something like that for whatever reason. So I said, okay, why not I just generate this particular, sorry, why not generate this particular server side by myself? Okay. So for that, we're going to create fast. We're going to use fast API. So we'll learn a little bit of fast API also. I was first thinking of doing Spring Boot because it makes a lot more sense to quickly do it. But I suppose this is also fine. This is also fine. This is also fine. The question here is that how do we map a token to a certain client? We are probably gonna be gonna use IPs to figure out who the client is and create a unique token for them, which has a TTL of 5 minutes. I think it was 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes you have to refresh, and you can only make 10 requests overall to the server from a certain API IP. So we also have to implement rate limiting on the server side, but here's the thing. Maybe in the start we're gonna just use a library, but this is a good opportunity to actually learn different kind of rate limiting algorithms, and we can try to sorry, we can try to do this. I even created a banner back then. Look at that. I even created a banner back then. But yeah, crazy. I never realized I did these kind of shit 5 years back. And the comments that I've put in are really good. I feel that I wouldn't be putting in those comments as of today, which means I'm going back. I'm not progressing. I'm losing more praise cells. So I feel a little bad about it. But that's the entire point of doing live streams. So I can be better. Or at least see if I'm progressing or if I'm digressing. Is that even a word? I don't know. But anyways, thank you so much. We're gonna stop the stream now. We are going to stop the stream right now. It's already 10 o'clock here at my time, and yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for who joined, and I hope you had a good, enjoyable, and recreational programming session. You learned a little bit, you had fun, and thank you so much for joining. And do like, subscribe, and share it with your friends if they're interested in these kind of contents. Slowly I'm going to roll out videos, and most likely I'm going to move to Twitch for live streams, or not do live stream at all. But that kind of depends. There are some legalities that I have to figure out if I want to do live stream and things like that. But yeah, we'll figure those out. Okay, thank you so much, everybody who joined, and have a good night. Thank you.